good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you will be tuning in. I'm just checking out connection outside. I hope it's pretty good. I hope you'll be able to see me and hear me well. I have a topic for you today that we can discuss while I'm walking, or you can share later in the comments. And the topic is very, very important, and it's probably going to be more than one video. It's probably going to be part two. Yeah, I hope it's not too loud. Good evening, everybody. So, good evening, yes. Good evening, Roger. So, the topics that I wanted to share and discuss with you today, guys, is about respecting her boundaries, respecting boundaries of the other person. Of course, we are talking about relationships and respecting the boundaries of the ladies that you are interested in. First of all, one of the most important things about the boundaries is to understand that there are boundaries, and to understand that when you cross them, you really like an uninvited guest on somebody's private territory. When you do not respect her boundaries, you violate her very private space. I don't want to call it the other word or describe it in any harsh way, but honestly, just like somebody can physically violate a woman, which is never good, just the same way you can violate a lady by emotionally crossing the boundaries. So once again, first of all, you have to realize that there are boundaries, and the newer you are in her life, the stronger the boundaries are, because or more important it is to realize them and to respect them. Sometimes you not sometimes, but always, I would say always, you should listen. You should listen to not only your voice, but you have to feel the other person. You have to understand when you're crossing the line. Is it really appropriate to ask her or to call her at 10 p.m. At night? Is this appropriate? Is that something that sounds like a good idea? Is it appropriate to ask very personal questions and get to the territory where you were not invited? This is the most important realization, that when you're crossing the boundaries, once again, you go into a territory where you are not invited, and you ask questions that are very intimate, that are very personal, and sometimes you try to give advice when nobody is asking you for advice. Can you guys hear me well? Hello, everyone. You may tell me, Veronica, how can you say this? Because, you have this, a whole advice channel. Right, I do have an advice channel, but I do not follow you guys. I'm not trying to find your phone number or your email and mail you my thoughts and insights, right? You watching for a reason, you want to you want to learn something, maybe you enjoying the show, or you have been on the channel for a while, you see the difference, because advice can often cross the boundaries. Advice can often also violate, because it's unsolicited, unasked advice. And with the channel, with my channel, or any other program, any other live show, you come because you are seeking it, you are looking for it. So if you don't enjoy somebody's views, perspectives, somebody's live show, you can do it easily. You can easily switch off the channel. Once again, guys, you got to understand the difference, that when you give an advice to somebody who is not asking you, you're getting into very personal space, and it could be very uncomfortable. When the person asking you for your view or for your input, that is different. Once again, it would be very strange. I know some of your emails, and if I would be emailing you my thoughts, it would be very strange. So that is that is just an example, right? That is just an example. Roger, how is your trip? Yeah, so I probably will make a follow-up. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat or super sticker. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, especially here on the fresh air. That feels really good. I may have to get some hot tea or coffee after this. But I just felt like sometimes I want to be able to walk and move as I'm talking, because it's more, my thoughts flow always so much better when I'm in emotion. And sounds like the connection is pretty good tonight. Yeah, the lighting can go, and change, but we are out at night, so that's to be expected. So anyhow, the most important thing is to be able to read between the lines, to be able to read between the lines, so the woman, the lady, does not have to call you out and tell you to leave her alone, or she doesn't have to call you out and say, no, you cannot call me at 11 o'clock, no, you cannot call me at 10 o'clock at night, or whatever other boundaries. Today we are talking about boundaries, about etiquette in relationships. There are, of course, more and more different aspects, but we're just talking about the etiquette because I think it's so important. A lot of people don't realize that, okay, there is time difference, there is schedule difference, it's also just simply disrespectful to not being thoughtful of the other person, of the others, someone else's personal space. Oh, thank you, thank you. Let's see, let me read. All right, I will get some tea. That sounds really good right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Bill. Thank you. Yes, I'm gonna see if this works out. Maybe sometimes, we can have our snow walks. So I always tell you guys to get off the couch, right? And I try to be very active, but at night, you just get comfortable. You don't always want to be somewhere freezing. So anyhow, if we talk about etiquette, guys, of course, as I told you, with etiquette, realizing times of the day, realizing that maybe your lady has a time when she does not speak on the phone, or she does not have your phone. You sending her 100 messages is not going to help. It's just going to build resentment. You have to understand that all of us sometimes need to take a break from social media and from the phone. And I used to listen to, sometimes I switch off my phone and I don't respond to my phone for days. And I used to have friends, well, let's just say in general, people who are people who are close to me know my rules. But sometimes your friends and family think you're dead or something. But I just have a simple explanation. I'm using my phone. I don't want my phone using me. So this is just important, understanding that everybody needs their space. Your lady need her space, and by you violating that space, you're not gonna create you need to be invited in the space, whether it's phone calls, whether it's personal meeting. You have to build things up so she will invite you to her space. But when you invite yourself or invade the space, you basically ruining the chance of that to happen. Because as I shared, guys, with you in the beginning of the video, just as awful it is when somebody violates a woman physically, just as bad it is when somebody try to violate you emotionally. Don't respect your time, try to get into your space. Sometimes asking you questions that are very personal, very, very personal, and they do not have, you do not have that level of relationship yet to be able to discuss, those particular things, right? You have to build up to it. You have to feel, okay, it is comfortable right now. I can ask her about, jeez. This is why I stream from home. Did you guys hear that? I just said about violation, It's so I was it was a guy screaming out of the van, for no good reason, just screaming. Just saw me walking and he had to scream. This is what happens when your parents watch TV instead of taking care of you. Then you grew up and become a guy who scream out of the van. Crazy, isn't it? Just when I talk about violation, this is what happens. To me, if that would be my son doing that, I would literally disown him. You don't do that. If you want to show attention to a woman, that's not what you do. That's not what you do. All right, guys. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna have some. So I'm here at the beautiful fire. I need some extra warmth. I have a. Check this out. That beautiful. So. I like that. I need this. Oh my god, this is so nice. Generally it's no problem to walk around here, but some people will violate. And do you think, after you've done something that is hurtful for the other person, either you scare them or you get into their business or you give them unsolicited advice, do you think you can ever redo it and regain their trust? It is next to impossible. Once you showed your side, it's next to impossible. Even if you apologize, even if you uh, try to make up for things, it's very very hard to change, uh, to go back to the moment of trust. It's very hard to go back to the place of trust and to the place of connection, because they already know that you can try to invade. You can try to invade, being obnoxious, and it's very hard. If you done it by mistake one time, maybe you called late or you demanded her time and you apologized and you really understood, whatever you've done that was not, you were not invited to do. Yes, you may get away with something minor one time, but generally, guys, you have to understand that by the nature, as ladies, we are holding our space. We are the gatekeeper. We have to make the best choice, and it's normal for us to be protective of ourselves. It is normal for us to be protective of ourselves. It's a good instinct. If more ladies would be more protective of themselves, less bad things would happen. It's our natural instinct. So when you do that, once you violated that, there is always be protection. You always, the lady, instead of building more connection with you, she will always be on guard. She will always be on guard, and she will be looking at, all right, so what's next? What to expect. So you really don't want that. You really don't want it. You want to give warmth. You see this beautiful fire. It feels so nice. I don't want to leave this spot now, but I don't want to come. It has this cage. I don't want to come any closer, because from the pleasant warmth, as it is right now, from the pleasant warmth, if I come close, I can burn and I can really hurt myself. So that's why there is this boundary. So people who are a little adventurous, will not cross that. Even though you would think the common sense tell you it's fire, so you probably should not touch it, they still should put something so somebody will not get burned, right? That's what I want to share with you guys. This is just about early stages of relationships, etiquette, just common sense. Just common sense. You guys have any thoughts, questions? I'm gonna look at your chats. It's not gonna be a very long live show, because I gotta be somewhere, and I just wanted to check out if we could connect this way. And let's see. Thank you again for the super chats. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Oh, so Roger, you had not traveled. Okay, well, that's too bad. I hope you'll get to do it. Yes, the boundaries will shift, and boundaries will change, and boundaries will apply to other things, but you have to earn this. You don't earn things by violating. That's the most important thing to understand. You cannot learn anything by violating the person. And you may say, well, I don't know, what it is, you may think that you're not sure, what's your, what it is, what's her particular boundaries are, whether you can call her, at 10 p.m. or, whether it's okay for you to, I don't know, invite her over, for a cup of tea. Guys, in our culture, if man invites you over for a cup of tea, it just means one thing. So if your relationship is new and that is inappropriate, uh, you are violating her trust, or you put her in a stressful situation because she's not ready, to get on that level with you, but you are not being considerate. You're not being considerate of her space, and she doesn't want to be stressed and have a lot of thoughts. Oh, is he inviting me over because he really wants to spend some time, or is he inviting me over because he's hinting that it's time for us to get in a different level? Hi Greg, good to see you, my friend. Yes, well, wait, we have a big truck. Well, boundaries are, we are talking about respecting her, but boundaries are going both ways, obviously. But because men are pursuers and men are more active and men are taking the lead and taking the role, that's why, and I'm a lady, so I'm talking from the from the female perspective. That's why I'm sharing with you. All right, guys, couple more questions or comments and I gotta go. Yeah, I mean, you can ask a person what is the right time to call. Yes, you can. You can ask, or have your own. You absolutely, you need to know what time is appropriate to call, or is it appropriate to call. I feel that you have to have that kind of trust and a kind of relationship where you don't just call out of the blue, especially if you have time difference. You may be, unless she tells you can call me anytime, you're not gonna wake me up because my phone is off, I will call you back if I'm not available. She needs to let you know that you can call anytime, or give you the time to call. Or maybe she does not she is not ready spending hours on the phone or Skype. So it just really depends. John, inviting for a cup of tea, it means inviting a lady for to escalate their relationship on an intimate level. Don't tell me that you didn't know that. Don't tell me you didn't know that. So that's what inviting for a cup of tea is. Of course, there are many different aspects and we're gonna talk about it, but I think the most rude ones are when somebody do not respect your space, when somebody bombard you with messages or text or calls, and you trust that you give them your number, and you trust that they will respect your privacy, and they do not. And also being investigating in a conversation, asking very personal questions, and giving advice that's unsolicited, getting into very personal, very intimate space. That is, I think, the biggest violation, because the woman will invite you, if she will ever start sharing with you her thoughts, her deep desires, her dreams, you have to arrive to that point. You don't just start with telling her what she needs to do and what's missing, what's missing in her life, and how do you think her life should be, and if she had any if you know anything about or most times you presume things about someone's life. So when you try to give advice, you look in a fool. You're not only crossing the boundaries, but you look in a fool, because you may be advising her something she doesn't want, or maybe she already has, or So only give advice when when she's asking you for one, when she calls you and she tells you, or I'm not sure, what to do in this situation. Or, when you build that level of trust, that when she struggles with something or she needs your support, she gives you green light. Because remember, most of people have a fantasy about the other person's life. I'm gonna say this again. Most of people are presuming about the other person's life because people who are more private, people who do not share their every step on social media, or people who do not seek validation from everybody, and they do not share with their friends and family everything. Basically people who mind their own business, um, they already know what they want. You need to make sure that you are not going to invade their space with your assumptions. In the best case scenario, you're gonna look a fool. In a worst case scenario, you're gonna hurt them by comments. Because what if they are going through the hard time? What if that actually is happening, something is happening, but they don't want to share with you about it, or they don't need you to feel sorry for them, but accidentally you push that button and the most painful and sensitive spot, and they were not ready to invite you there. Once again, you have to be invited. That's why psychologists and therapists and coaches and people who work with others, they do not chase their clients, right? I have not seen a therapist running and calling and pursuing, chasing after a client so that person gets their consultation, right? Usually the person who is ready to change something in their life, person who is ready to share about what's going on, usually that kind of person that is ready to share something intimate, that wants to change something, that kind of person is reaching out to a therapist, to a coach, to a consultant, to advisor, whoever that could be, and they are given the green light that they want to share something and they want to change, or they have in a difficult situation. But I do not call my followers or my clients or my friends and say, hey, I'm gonna give you this great advice. You just don't do that, because this is unsolicited. People will run from you. It's supposed to be the other way. When you build trust, people are reaching out to you, they want to talk to you, they have trust for you, they trust you to help with their life situation. If it's a friend build trust with you to be able to share about their personal situation. And of course, if it's a professional service the person that needs a service would make their research, and this is how they would find help. So you cannot think that you're saving somebody or you're doing something great when you're really getting on their nerves and you're uninvited. Oh gosh. Okay. Yes. So just food for thought, guys. This could be part 1. I want to wish you all a wonderful evening, and please think about this and share if you ever had that experience, if you ever had a situation when you crossed the boundaries and you felt better about it, or have you been in a situation when that was kind of how you felt, it was done toward you. So if you share that under the video, that would be much appreciated. And I probably will make a part 2 on this, and that would be about more mental, emotional things, because there is really a fine line between connecting and helping somebody and invading someone's space and making them feel very uncomfortable. And a lot of times men think that they are helping or they being thoughtful, but they are ruining all of their chances to create connection with the lady. So with that being said, guys, good evening and enjoy your evening, and I will see you as soon as I can for the next time. Thank you so much.